HTC TechWave.
Hi there and welcome to HTC TechWave. I'm your host. My name is Neerja, and in today's episode, our first ever one, in fact, we look at how enterprises can strategically prepare for AI integration. We'll examine the current AI landscape, best practices for leveraging AI, and the integration challenges businesses face. We'll also discuss the cultural transformation needed to foster innovation, ethical considerations, and how to measure success. So let's go right ahead and get started. Our guest today is Sudheer Kotagiri, Senior Vice President, Data and AI, HTC Next. Hi Sudheer, welcome to HTC TechWave.
Thanks, Neerja. Glad to be here and help kickstart this new podcast.
Let's dive straight in. Sudheer, I'm going to try and lay the foundation a little bit. What does the current AI landscape look like? Can you help us understand how things stand right now vis-a-vis artificial intelligence? And if you could also add if there are any real-world examples that the average person like me is probably familiar with.
See, currently AI is impacting every industry sector. We as a services company works with different customers where we are helping in increasing their customer experience, enhancing their efficiency and improving their innovation quotient. For example, in healthcare customers, we are working with improving their diagnostic tools like PathAI, which will help in terms of pathologists identifying diseases more accurately. And some of the technologies like IBM Watson and then Google's Gemini Pro and all is helping in terms of diagnosing and personalizing this kind of a medicine. In retail sector, companies like Walmart, where they use AI for dynamic pricing and inventory management to optimize some of their operations. In the insurance space, where a lot of innovation is happening, which is where they are using their credit scoring and fraud detection systems, such as those employed by MasterCard, using AI to assess some of the risks and detect anomalies as well. Not only that, they are using it to enhance their underwrite workbench and then improving on their day-to-day claim processing and many other areas as well. Some of our customers like JP Morgan is using AI for fraud detection and algorithmic trading.
Right, Sudheer. And if you can also touch upon actually some of the emerging trends in the area, I think it would expand our understanding on this.
Yeah, sure. See, one of the area is definitely generative AI, which has actually opened up many of the possibilities across AI for all our customers with GPT models, Cloud models, with Gemini Pro models and all of them. They are helping driving new applications in content creation, customer service, and even in creative fields like design and marketing. So these models are increasingly integrated into business processes and providing new avenues for innovation to our customers. While doing this one of the critical element is the responsible AI. There is growing emphasis on responsible AI frameworks, and that a lot of research is going on by different institutes and different companies as well. Which is what we are leveraging in terms of creating a focus on fairness, transparency, and accountability. Companies are now implementing AI guardrails such as those implemented by HTC Next as well, which we call it as a responsible AI framework to ensure that all the AI systems are ethical and do not perpetuate any of the biases. One of the area we are seeing is definitely a competitive advantage through AI adoption. Some of the early adopters of AI are gaining a significant competitive advantage by enhancing their customer experience and focusing on their operational efficiencies. For instance, many of our clients are upgrading their intent-based conversational interfaces to leverage LLM-based NLP solutions. This transition is not only enhancing the efficiency of the customer support, but also significantly reducing the need for human agent involvement, leading to improved response times and as well as cost savings.
Well, thank you, Sudheer. You've given us quite a bit of insight here. And let me ask you, considering all of this that you've just told us, what are enterprises actually doing to leverage AI in their strategy? And if I may, we'd also like to understand what best practices they should follow.
Some of the best practices we are seeing is definitely starting with objectives. You could call this an AI strategy alignment, that is aligning AI initiatives with some of the business goals and prioritizing the projects which will help in terms of enhancing the strategic value. For instance, JP Morgan Chase focuses on AI for enhancing their trading algorithms and risk management. Some insurance companies are enhancing their customer experience through better claim processing and then enhancing their underwriter workbench efficiency and all these areas. The second one is on investing in talent and skills. So something like appointing a chief AI officer or a similar role which can oversee all the AI integration across the enterprise and ensuring like dedicated leadership and alignment with the business objectives. And the third area is doing the pilot projects. Start with pilot projects to evaluate AI technologies in real-world scenarios before embarking on a full-scale implementation and reducing the risk and providing valuable insights to internal as well as external customers. And the fourth one is focusing on the cross-functional teams. Build teams with people who have skill sets across technical, operational, as well as some of the strategic aspects of AI projects, integrating that expertise from various domains.
What are the common pitfalls companies may encounter when they undertake strategic planning for AI?
Some of the pitfalls we are seeing is not focusing on responsible AI practices from the early on. Ignoring these ethical implications of AI can lead into biased outcomes and legal challenges. So companies must incorporate these responsible AI frameworks to mitigate these risks.
Well, Sudheer, you've given us the best practices and the pitfalls, and we would be remiss if we didn't look at the other side of the coin, right? Sometimes you can do everything right, and there are still challenges. So what are some of the ones enterprises face with AI integration? I'm talking about areas like compatibility, security, and scalability. I'd like to hear your point of view on that.
In terms of compatibility, what we are seeing is many of the customers will have legacy systems. So integrating AI with these existing legacy systems can be difficult due to their outdated technology and some incompatibility in different data formats. The second area around this is like around data integration. Combining data from different disparate sources and ensuring it is compatible with AI systems, which can prove to be complex. And regarding the security, one of the primary concern is data privacy. Protecting the sensitive information and ensuring compliance with regulations like GDPR, CCPA is critical to prevent some of the breaches and misuse. Because we are developing so many different algorithms and engagements, it can lead into some kind of vulnerability. So AI systems can be vulnerable to cyber attacks. Therefore, robust security protocols and regular updates are crucial for any of the AI implementations. Regarding the scalability, in terms of infrastructure is one of the critical element to be considered. So scaling AI solutions may require a significant investment in cloud infrastructure as well as data storage. With respect to consistency in terms of maintaining performance and accuracy as AI systems scale up in terms of data volume and user interactions can be challenging as well.
Sudheer, we hear a lot of talk that AI will change fundamental components of corporate culture. Let's dive into that for a bit. According to you, what cultural transformation is required to foster innovation in the context of AI integration?
To foster innovation, creating an environment that encourages experimentation and accepts failures as part of the innovation process is very important. For example, Google's culture of moonshot thinking supports different ambitious AI projects. Similarly, collaborating is one of the important elements. So promote collaboration across different departments to integrate diverse perspectives and drive some of the creative solutions as well. Continuous learning is important element. So investing in training programs to upskill employees in AI and related technologies and ensuring they are equipped to work with new tools and methodologies is important. Then creating a learning culture that will enhance the values learning and adapts to technology advancements is an important element. With respect to leadership and support, ensuring that leadership actively supports and promotes these AI initiatives and setting a tone that values and drives this innovation is another area we need to focus on.
Right. Now is a good time, Sudhir, to spend a minute on the ethics around AI. This is sort of the hot button issue when it comes to AI, isn't it? Especially from a layman's perspective. What would you say are the ethical considerations and responsibilities enterprises need to address regarding AI?
No conversation with customers goes without discussing this important element of bias, privacy, and
Yeah.
accountability. With respect
Yeah.
to bias detection, implementing processes to detect and address some of the bias in AI models using diverse data sets, and then regularly doing audits and ensuring fairness is an important element to consider. And then designing the AI systems with inclusivity in mind to avoid perpetuating existing bias and ensuring equitability outcomes is also an important element to consider. Then comes the privacy protection. Now, how do you handle the data? So addressing the privacy regulations and best practices to data collection as well as storage and using that to protect the user information need to be considered. One more important element is on transparency. So we need to be transparent about how AI systems collect and use the data, providing the users with control over their personal information as well. With all this comes an accountability. So in terms of developing and enforcing ethical guidelines for AI usage and ensuring responsible and fair practices across the implementation. Another important element is regularly assessing this impact of AI systems on stakeholders and society and adjusting as needed to mitigate different negative effects.
Very interesting. One last question for you, Sudhir. How can enterprises measure the success of their AI initiatives and continuously improve them as well?
One is focusing on financial metrics. One is ROI. So evaluating the return on investment for AI projects by comparing costs against the benefits, such as increased revenue or reduced operational expenses. And the second one to focus is on cost efficiency. Track how your AI contributes to cost savings and operational efficiencies. Use some of the metrics like reduced manual effort and improved productivity, etc., to measure the effectiveness. Performance metrics also is important elements we need to capture. So we need to define different KPIs and monitor those KPIs like accuracy, speed, and user satisfaction to assess the effectiveness of these AI solutions. Then we can benchmark these performance metrics with industry standards to gauge how successful they are and identify any areas of improvement. So it is a continuous improvement because implementing these systems for collecting user feedback and performance data and refining AI models and processes is an important element to consider. And then it is like an iterative development. So approaches to continuously enhance the AI solutions based on different performance evaluations and evolving needs is what need to be incorporated as part of your plan.
Sudhir, we've covered quite a bit here in our preparation for AI integration, but if I were to ask you to summarize this entire conversation, what would you want to be the key takeaways?
To summarize our conversation, I would like to point four broad areas that we need to be paying attention to. One is strategic alignment. So preparing AI integration involves aligning AI strategies with business goals and then addressing technical and cultural challenges and ensuring ethical practices. Second one is addressing the challenges. So overcoming the integration hurdles such as compatibility, security and scalability is very crucial for successful AI development. And the third one we need to focus is on cultural and ethical focus. So fostering a culture of innovation and addressing ethical considerations are key to maximize the benefits of AI while maintaining the responsible use. And the fourth one is like measuring the success. Employing robust metrics and continuous improvement practices will help ensure that AI initiatives deliver value and adapt to changing needs.
Thank you, Sudhir. It has been a fascinating discussion on the first episode of HTC TechWave. Now, I have a summary of my own. We covered the essentials of preparing for AI integration, from understanding the AI landscape and best practices to addressing integration challenges and ethical considerations. We examined the cultural shifts necessary for innovation and how to measure AI success. We also discussed how navigating these aspects can help enterprises harness AI's potential and drive meaningful advancements. Thank you for all your insights, Sudheer, and we'd love to have you back sometime.
Thanks, Neeraj, for having me on the show. I love talking about this subject. I mean, let's face it, this is a pretty important topic and will become more relevant in the coming months and years.
Thanks to everyone listening in for tuning into this show. We hope this episode gave you some useful insights into strategic AI integration. Join us in the next episode of HTC TechWave as we continue to explore the world of technology and innovation. Until then, stay curious and stay ahead. I'm Neerja, signing off.
HTC TechWave.